Hi, welcome to the Urban Outdoors in SoCal video. My name is Danny Milton, and today is a new bike day. I'm out here on my favorite trails, and I'm going to be riding that beast right there. That's the 2020 Giant Rain E+1 Pro. I know it's a mouthful.
That's what she said.
This is literally my first ride on dirt with it. Yesterday, once I got everything set up on the bike, I rode it, up and down my street, and it is just ridiculous. This is just going to be, my initial thoughts on this bike. We're going to go over a couple of, non-e-bike hater things, and yeah, check it out. So some of the things that I did to the bike, once I got it from the bike shop is I put all my bicycle frame tape on there. I switched out the grips. I put some ergon grips on there. I put the dropper post off of my old Rain onto this one just because I like the Crank Brothers dropper a little bit better than the Giant dropper. It has a much more kind of, you can change the angles of the actual, thumb lever for the dropper. So today I'm going to take it really easy. Because it's a brand new bike, and I set the sag last night as best as I could by myself. Got all of the kind of, dampening, high speed or low speed compression settings pretty much in the middle. What I'm going to be doing is just going down this little tiny loop here, and I'll show you some drone footage of it. Just checking out the low speed compression, where I want it to be. I might have to, change the air pressure in the front, in the shock and the fork, but we're just going to feel it out. So the other reason why I'm taking it easy, because I did this last week at Greer. Oh! Yeah, just got crossed up. At least I got it on camera. And yeah, that was a great Superman dive, and didn't think much of it, but by the time I got home, my right knee was swollen. So some of the stuff that we're going to be doing is I'm going to be comparing my times, using Strava between this bike and my old Rain. Don't worry, all you Strava guys out there, I'm going to be recording in the e-bike part of the Strava app, so I won't be crushing any of your uphill times. You don't have to worry about that. But a lot of the stuff that I want to do is I want to compare my downhill times. I'm going to be comparing, how much energy I'm putting out compared to my regular pedal bike. I also want to see, what my range is going to be. Typically here at this spot, I'll do anywhere from 8 to 12 miles. Just depends on how many loops I want to do. I'll do Lynx. Lynx is about a 2-mile loop. Rocket is a 4-mile loop, and then if I want to do like Car Wreck is about 7. So if I want to go to the other side and do like Mentally Sensitive or Meadows, that's about an 8-mile loop back to my starting point. So just going to, once I get a feel for this bike and how the setup is going to be, we're going to start doing a lot of those comparisons and yeah, see how well it does. Just real quickly going over the bike, you got 27.5 wheels, got a Fox 36 e-bike fork up front. That's the Performance 36, 170 mils of travel. We got the XT drivetrain and shifters. Got XT 4-piston brakes. Got all that stuff across there. We got the float, the Fox Float X2, 160 mils of travel in the rear, all the way back down to the XT derailleur and the SLX cassette. So everything's feeling really good so far. Like I said, just going up and down with the suspension, adding a few clicks, taking off a few clicks. The suspension feels so good. I mean, even not perfectly dialed in, it feels so good in the chunky sections, and just plowing through stuff. I have to really rein myself in because I don't want to get too crazy on my first day. Okay, so something I've never tried before is actually climbing a Rocket on a mountain bike. Obviously I'm on an e-bike, it should be a lot easier, but I've never done it on my regular bike. Just need to get some momentum going. Kind of down in the saddle right now, cruising through this, but some of the steeper rocky stuff, I get up out of the saddle, it's a lot easier. I've pushed up this section plenty of times on my regular bike, but never pedaled. I don't want to go through the rocks because I don't want to get in anybody's way. So staying as far to my left or the right side of the trail coming down as I can. Wow, that was just way too easy. A couple of pedal strikes. Didn't bottom out the motor or anything. All right, so feeling out the bike a lot yesterday, going down links several times, messing with my suspension settings, you know, as far as the compression and low speed dampening goes. Right now, I've got everything dialed in. My front tire is at 28 psi, my rear tire is at 30. I readjusted my sag last night. It was a little high in the front and a little low in the back, so got those set at about 25%, just because sometimes I carry a little bit more gear than other times, so I don't want to have to readjust sag every time I do that. So 25% front and rear. Not gonna get too crazy. Brakes are feeling good, bedded in. They're starting to bite down pretty good now. Suspension's feeling good. No more diving, no more skipping. Did you lose it? There it is. Hey. Don't know if the drone's still behind me. I'll check once you get up over this rise. Looks like it's still there. Still there following. Nice. This is my favorite trail here in OC because of how short the loop is. But it's one of those trails where you can go slow if you're a beginner and take it easy, or you can really mash through it, make it a lot more difficult. Thank you, just me. Woo. Suspension's feeling good. Let's pull over here. Let's pull in the drone. Suspension's feeling really good. Right, brakes are definitely bedded in now. This little section here. Woo. So after about four and a half full days of riding this bike, I'm going to tell you I love it. We'll go over the motor first. The motor it's amazing having a motor on an e-bike. You know, I'm climbing sections that I never would have climbed before, or just climbing sections differently because I have so much more speed going into them. It just makes climbing actually kind of fun now. Like, I'm looking to climb more difficult sections. The motor it has a lot of power. I don't know about other e-bikes, but there's definitely kind of like a power curve. Now, at the top of that curve being the most power it's going to give you, depending on what mode you're in, anywhere from, eco to turbo, and depending on what gear you have selected in the back. Now, the motor wants you to be at a certain cadence. I don't have something on my bike that will tell me my cadence, but it definitely wants you to be at a certain part, and you'll feel the motor powering up when you get to the top of that curve. And then if you try to go over that curve, the motor actually kind of drags a little bit. So If you want to go faster, just drop down to, you know, lower a higher speed gear, and you'll get right back to the top of that curve pretty quickly. As far as battery level goes, you know, I've done several trips at Fullerton Loop where I've done the double loop. That's about 22.5 miles. If I stay in power level 2, I can get through there fairly well with maybe about 10 to 20% of battery left. If I'm going through, like I did a lap yesterday in turbo mode, 1 lap of Fullerton Loop, and turbo mode, I burned 60% of my battery in just that 1 loop. So it's definitely going to depend. You know, there's a lot of things that go into battery and how far you're going to get, how much you're climbing, what mode you're in, how much you weigh. You know, I'm a pretty big guy, so I'm going to be using more battery as compared to somebody who's 140 pounds. So that's going to depend on you, the rider. As far as suspension goes, I love the suspension. It's a huge upgrade from my old bike. I have the Fox Performance stuff on here, the Fox 36 fork, performance fork in the front. I have the Performance X2 shock in the rear. Both of those only have, well, the front fork, you can adjust the compression, and you can adjust the rebound. That's it. No high speed, low speed, whatever. It's just the rebound. On the X2 in the rear, you can adjust the low speed rebound and the low speed dampening. And you do kind of have a little lockout switch if you want to do that. I usually leave it just open when I'm climbing. It's not that big of a deal. The drivetrain and the brakes, amazing. You know, the Shimano, I'm a Shimano guy. I have these same brakes, the Shimano XT 4-piston brakes. I have the Shimano drivetrain, same as this one. The only difference in this bike is it has the SLX cassette in the rear. My bike has the XT cassette. Probably a little bit weight difference. I think the XT cassette obviously is a little bit stronger, but you know, I haven't noticed any performance issues so far. The bike just, it feels amazing. Anytime the low speed compression stuff, when I'm going off of jumps or I'm going off of, you know, drops and I'm in the air landing, it feels like you're landing on a cloud. It's amazing. The only thing I'm kind of disappointed in is the high-speed chatter. Like, say for instance, if you're going down Rocket and you have those really quick chattery sections, if you're going through brake bumps, like there's a lot of brake bumps on certain parts of Fullerton Loop, the front end starts to get a little chattery. Now I'm hopefully going to be able to tune that out, and if I am able to tune that out, I'll put an update to this video a little bit later. But still, overall, I mean, I'm really happy with it. Like I said, I've ridden over 100 miles in 5 days. This bike is amazing, and it's a lot of fun. I would definitely recommend that you get on one, try it. Doesn't matter what type of e-bike it is, just get on one and try to ride some of your local trails, and I guarantee you're going to have a lot of fun. One last thing too, as far as charging the battery goes, I'm usually charging it from, you know, like 10 to 20% all the way up to full. Usually takes about 3 to 4 hours, maybe 5 hours. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't put a timer next to it, but charges pretty quickly all the way up to 100%. So I'm really happy about that as well. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Hopefully this will be the kind of jolt that you need to try to get on an e-bike, or maybe change your mind about e-bikes. I mean, you are definitely going to get a great workout on an e-bike. You're going to be going so much faster, having so much more fun, but your heart rate is just going to be, you know, pegged, and you're going to get a great workout from it. So some of the stuff that you can do to help out the channel: smash that like button, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed, make sure you click that bell notification. That way you do get notified when I do come out with new videos. Got a lot of MTB stuff coming out because I got the new bike. I also just recently got my website set up. You can go check that out. It's at uosocal.com. Just one UO SoCal, not two like I just said. On there, I've got some pictures. You can follow me on Instagram. I also do have a shop, so if you want to purchase any of the gear that I have on there, t-shirts with the logos on there, cups, hats, phone cases, all that kind of stuff, check out the website. And the last thing you do to help support the channel is click on one of these boxes here. One will take you to a rides playlist, another to a favorite video, and you can click the logo over there in that corner, the Urban Outdoorsman SoCal logo, to subscribe. Thanks a lot.